Today marks a significant milestone in the Melton administration, as we are rapidly approaching our first 100 days in office. When I was sworn in, I made it a top priority for public safety in our administration. And one of the first things I did was make sure that we had the right leadership at the helm of the Gary Police Department. And I think today is evidence of that. The reason I did that is because I know that safety is truly paramount to this community. Our residents deserve safe neighborhoods where they can grow, raise families, and build their dreams for the future.
I consider myself to be a son. I believe that the Gary Police Department has trained me and given me many opportunities to now bring those opportunities to this position that I have as the Chief of Police. With that being so, through the leadership of our Mayor, Eddie Melton, he elected me to be the Chief of Police starting January 1. And from that point, we've been running and taking care of the business of the city.
The two cases we're going to talk about this afternoon are cases that started in February of this year. About mid-February, our Narcotics Division received information about two separate drug trafficking operations within the city of Gary. One of the first ones we're going to talk about, it was an operation that this individual was identified. He had a house in Maryville, Indiana, and he was supplying customers in Gary, Indiana. So our Narcotics Division identified him, and they began their investigation. That investigation led to a search warrant in the 6300 block of Harrison Street in Maryville, Indiana, where they executed the search warrant on March 26th. So our second case was going in conjunction with this first case. So we had two large operations going. The second case was this residence here. This one was identified with cooperation with the Hammond Police Department. We identified this residence as 5100 block of Ohio Court in Gary, Indiana, and we continued that investigation. Purchases of crack cocaine were taken from him, and then we applied for a search warrant. A search warrant was executed March 27th in the late evening hours of this year, March 27th, 2024. Members of the Gary Police Department SWAT team executed that search warrant and secured the residence, taking Mr. Jeffries into custody. At that time, he was transported to the Gary Police Department in Ben Lake County Jail, where he was charged the next day by Bernie Carter's office. Once we executed that search warrant, we located inside that residence 13 weapons, 8 were rifles, 3 were handguns, and 2 were shotguns.
There's a couple things that I wanted to mention real quickly. In reference to the Indiana State Police, they still very much a part of the Lake County Homicide Unit, which Gary is an intricate part of that unit. They've given us 4 individuals, and as the mayor mentioned, the governor has been fantastic with understanding some of our needs. So we have 4 state police, well, 3 state police and 1 excise officer assigned to that unit. And they're here in Gary every day, all over Lake County for the most part. Secondly, I talked to the chief the other day in my office, and they requested to have one of our senior prosecutors be stationed here at the police station. Chief, I certainly talked about that with my staff, and we're going to be making that happen within the next couple of weeks. So, because I think, as the mayor said, we want to be involved in the operations of the city. It's doing some fantastic things. There will be a lot of good things happening. I'm so impressed with the homicide rate being dropped, and I think the chief is absolutely correct about the reasoning behind that.